Yeah, I wanted to talk really quick about day 3 of the Healthy Waist Living Challenge, this 28-day challenge. Today, we are going to talk about eating and not huge suggestions on diet change, just 2 action steps you can take in the way you eat. Like, literally, go with whatever healthy way that you're hopefully already eating, or like a lot of us already know, like, oh, I should eat more vegetables, or whatever your thing is that you want to do as far as food. But I'm just going to make 2 really quick specific suggestions on how you eat. And before we get into those suggestions, just going to recap. So day 1, we talked about getting some baseline measurements and mindset. Definitely recommend you look at that, especially the mindset part, because we want to come at this from a place of love, not a place of hating our body. Day 2, we talked about breathing and taught 2 breathing exercises, and talked about how our breath relates to our body. And now, day 3, we're going to talk about eating. So, as far as food, there's so much that can be said, and another day we're going to go more into other topics. But just here, I want to encourage becoming more aware of the body's signals as far as hunger and satisfaction. So, the 2 tips are: number 1, chew your food very slowly. Um, so, some families have like a person. I know my family had a person that was just like known for being like the slow eater. And I don't think it was a coincidence that he was also like trim and fit for pretty much his whole life. So become that person, become the slow eater in your family. Take your time eating, chew to liquid. So that's really like, if we're getting to what the tip is, tip 1 is chew slowly and long enough that your food goes from being solid to liquid while it's still in your mouth. Tip 2 is to stop when you're satisfied, not when you're full. So true hunger is not like where you have a taste for something and that signal is coming from your mouth. And we all know that it's not like, oh, you think like, oh, it's been 2 hours, it's time for me to eat. Like, if your signals to eat are coming from your head or from your mouth, that's not true hunger. True hunger is a signal from the stomach. And um, when you apply tip 1 and chew very slowly, you give yourself time for the stomach to then send the signals that, hey, I'm good now. I'm not feeling hunger anymore. Because you want to stop eating before you get to the point where the stomach has to send the signal like, oh, please stop. I'm too full. So by combining those 2 things, like, I'm not really into counting calories. Works great for some people, but something that I did a lot in my teens and kind of just feels like too much, tedious. I don't stick with it. Um, so I am like redoubling my efforts to do this. And again, this challenge is like things that I'm putting together and doing myself, and because of my own goals, and I'm sharing as I go. So these are 2 things around eating. Just chew very slowly, chew until your food becomes liquid in your mouth. And that's because that's where digestion starts. Digestion starts in the mouth, like literally the mechanical of chewing to make it smaller pieces so it's easier for the rest of your digestive system. And the breakdown of carbohydrates starts in the mouth. I remember as a teenager in my biology class, one of the experiments that stuck with me even all these years later was the teacher passed out saltine crackers to everyone. And when you first bite into a saltine cracker, and the assignment was like, okay, we're all gonna take a bite of our saltine cracker at the same time and keep chewing and see what happens with the taste. So like we all bit, and she was like, keep chewing, and eventually the taste of the salt goes away and it starts to taste sweet. And that's because a saltine cracker has carbohydrates. The taste of the salt goes away, and as your saliva breaks down the carbohydrates, you start to taste the sugar because it breaks it into simpler sugars. So digestion really does like both mechanically and breaking down the food and literally on a chemical level start in the mouth. So you want to make sure that you're chewing really thoroughly for those reasons. And it gives the benefit of slowing you down so that you can pick up on when you're satisfied. Most people watching this, we live in a time and in a culture where there's like an abundance of food. And with that abundance of food, like you can work on kind of, I guess, a little bit of mindset of like reassuring your mind, like there's plenty of food. I don't need to eat until I can't fit another bite in now because there's plenty of food. I can eat a little bit now and then eat a little bit when I get the signal from my stomach that I'm hungry again in 2 hours or 4 hours or like whatever that amount of time is for you. I will say, I've been working on the stopping when I'm satisfied for quite some time. And sometimes when you stop when you're satisfied and don't like keep going beyond that, those hunger signals can come upon you unexpectedly at that 2 hour or 3 hour point, like after that last meal. So if you do this, for example, for breakfast and you're going to be out for a while, take a snack with you so that you don't get hangry, but so that you can just be responsive to what your body is asking you for. When your body asks for food, you give it food. When your body says, okay, I've had food now, I'm satisfied, not full, I'm just satisfied. And the way I do that is like every couple of bites, like kind of assess, like, okay, do I still want more food as a signal from my stomach? There's also a psychological part of this that we'll go into on another day of like some of the things that we use food to fulfill that we can kind of like help ourselves by fulfilling those needs in other ways. But I'll get into that in more detail another time. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you'll come back for day 4. Bye.